Hey, we're on. Audio. I can't hear you, man. What's up? Oh, yeah. All right. You finished grooming yourself? I can't hear you. What's up? Me or you? You, 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 you. Oh, come on. What is up with you? Hey, Tipsy. All right. Well, anyway, welcome to Interfleet Broadcasting. I'm New York Pete. I'm here with my buddy, my best buddy, Chris the Tipsy Toaster. Thanks for joining us on our news, pop culture, sci-fi entertainment channel. Full disclosure, we grew up on
There we go.
70s and 80s. Hey, well, we were, hey, could you guys hear? No audio for
Probably not.
Tipsy. No.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
was the
but
O and OFS switch. I had turned it
that's
to
all
the
right. So,
OFS
hey,
position.
that's fine. Listen, everyone, we grew up watching 70s and 80s TV movies, cartoons and the like, magazines, books, everything that was going on back then. We
Cool
were
stuff.
into it, and we bring our own unique spin to this little corner of the universe. And everyone needs to know that we also happen to be big Battlestar Galactica fans. That's what brought IFB into creation. So welcome and thanks for joining us. There's a bunch of you that are here live. Baz, good morning to you. Erica and Chuck. Yeah, the base stars were jamming. Erica, Colin, Rob Baum, Lola, of course, Chris Laskowski, also from Down Under, Kim Harms, Karen. Thanks for joining us, Susan. I don't know who else. There might be a couple others. Paul, Commander Kane, James, James McCoy, and Sean from Battlestar Bulletin Board. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you jumping on with us. Thank you to everybody who watches us later on, typically in the thousands. So appreciate all of you for taking the time out and joining us. Tonight
All
we have
you
a full
wild and
house.
crazy people.
Absolutely. We have Tiny Bean. Tara's going to be giving us her updates. And there's some really cool stuff going on, followed by none other than Mr. Chris Feehan. He's going to give us Star Wars updates. He's been doing a lot of cool stuff. I got to talk to him a little bit before we started the program. Also reminding everyone the mini con is going to be on and we will be there. So we'll
Yep.
talk a little bit about that. And then we have our special guest scheduled, filmmaker. Yeah. Filmmaker, actor, filmmaker, Wyatt Weed. He's also a visual effects artist, and he's going to tell us all about, him and his background, working on Star Trek, doing all kinds of cool stuff. And then we're also going to have an update from Bran Stimpson, the Admiral in International Star Trek Association. So we're going to have a lot of stuff for you, and I'm looking forward to actually hearing from Tiny Bean because I got to see everything she put together, and there's some really cool stuff there.
Oh, there she is.
So, yeah. So, without any further ado, Tipsy, if you're able to bring up
Whoa,
Tiny
whoa,
Bean.
whoa. Cool your jets there. Your turbo thrusters are going a little too fast there, buddy.
Yeah, that's right. Let's let us.
Way too fast
Okay,
there, buddy.
good. Perfect. All right.
All
Yes.
right. So
Oh my God. All right. Are
Pete's
you
all
ready?
excited and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Hang on.
Oh, there's some cool stuff going on. I'm like I've been watching a lot of stuff that Tiny Beans recommended, so
Evidently, you're
I'm
extremely
psyched.
excited about it.
Oh
You're
yeah,
going
I
to
am.
miss the toast with our fans. How
Well,
dare you?
I'm waiting for that's right. Oh,
How
I'm
dare
sorry.
you?
Yes.
Get
My
all
bad.
excited. So, anyways, thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. You are very important to us. I think we are all important to each other in regards to a fandom because without the fans, there is no fandom. And we
That's
all
right.
know that the fans fuel the fleet. So, here's to you. Thank you so much for coming. And fans fuel the fleet.
Cheers, guys.
Mm,
Yes, Baz, Tara's on. Ambrosia first.
good stuff.
That's right, Chuck. Cool.
Okay, give me a second. I got to get Tara set up here.
Okay, I'll give you 2 seconds.
1001,
Tiny
1002.
Bean.
That's not fast enough. That's too
That's not
fast. Hold on,
fast
give me
enough.
a second.
Tiny Bean How are you?
I am good, guys. How's it going?
It's going.
I'm just going to make Pete wait some more. That's what
No.
I ought to
Yes.
do.
Yes,
You
that's
know what?
right.
You're
You
so
should, yeah.
excited. Now you can wait a little bit.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. You make
so
everybody
mean.
wait.
That's right.
You're a meanie. You're just a
You're a
bad
mean one,
Cylon.
Mr.
Bad
Grinch.
Cylon.
Just
Bad
to say.
Cylon.
Love
You
it.
really are a
Hey,
heel.
by the way, Baz just put up says I am modifying my trailer this weekend to accept electric winches to facilitate opening and closing it as a one-man show.
I've seen
Wow.
a couple of the
Amazing.
pictures he's been putting up.
Yeah. And Baz, I think you met up with the other fellow
We need to get
Viper
him on.
builder.
The other guy.
Yeah, he's building
I
the
don't think
Mark
we ever got
One.
him on. I think you gave us
No.
his name at one point in time. I think we reached
Yeah.
out but didn't get a hold of him somehow. So
Yeah,
hook us
we
up.
need to get him on.
Hook us up, man. Hook us up.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. Actually, it'd be cool to have both of them on competing Vipers and
Never
comparing
competing.
notes.
There's old school
Right.
and new school, and don't compete against those two. Those two are amazing individuals to begin with.
Oh yeah. Oh
So
my! Imagine getting to see the
dedication,
yeah,
I mean, that's
be
amazing.
cool.
All right, I think
Yeah,
I'm ready.
Mm.
Well, no, I'm not.
Erica.
Hang on. Whoop,
You,
yeah, I am. No,
Eric
I'm not.
O'Reilly, you're right. He's a mean one, Mr.
He's a
Toasty.
mean
That's right.
one, Mr. Cylon.
Love it.
You really
Oh boy.
are an extermination device. Anyway,
Yeah, Scott Stewart. That's the guy. That's the other
ah,
Australian. Yeah, right. It takes the Aussies to build a one-to-one. No, we
yeah,
have
really.
Carl, Cullen
Oh, you got
Schmidt and
Carl.
George
Yep,
Mellis have, but
I have one.
it's they have one. It comes apart and
Yep,
stuff.
and
It's
moves
yeah, a
around.
little
Yeah,
different. Yeah. All right.
and we have. Don't forget the Raider One.
Oh
That's
yes, there is Raider
that's
One.
the only one in existence. So
Correct. Project
Ooh,
Colonial Viper 1978.
okay,
Excellent. Thank you, Baz. We're
love
gonna
it.
reach out to him and see if we can get him on. But I'm
you ready?
still excited.
You
Yeah,
ready?
go.
You sure? You're
Go
ready?
for it.
I think we can wait a little bit longer.
All
But
right.
anyways,
Yeah.
Ah, terrible.
Well, see, you have a full
there you
studio,
go.
so that's why.
All right.
Oops.
Great.
Oh no.
Well,
Oh
are
no.
we good? Are
I'm
we
not ready.
good?
Oh,
No.
you're going too
That's
fast
that's
now.
auto. That was on autoplay.
Oh, see, you got to
Oh, I
stop
gotcha.
that. You and that
Well,
whole
Pete was
robotic.
so excited. I figured I'd better move it faster.
You got the robot in you going
That's it.
strong.
Oh, you wait till this weekend, sir.
Oh yeah, we got.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. We got plenty going on.
I'll get up on stage and do
Minicon.
the robot.
Oh no.
No,
Oh, I know
that might
someone in
scare people
charge. You're
away.
not. No, no, no. I know someone in charge. You're not doing that. That's for sure.
All right, Tara. It's all you. Take it away.
All right, great. Well, hello, IFB. Happy midsummer here in the States. Hope you're all enjoying the weather. It has sure been a hot one.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to Tiny Beans Corner, where we discuss new, old, and otherwise interesting things to watch that you may not know about. Tons of cool stuff to report on tonight, so let's dive in. First up, Emmy nominations just dropped, and it was a huge announcement for Tiny Beans Corner fans. 8 shows that we recommended here on IFB were nominated, some in a really big way. Leading the pack with the most nominations is the twisted sci-fi Severance with 27 nods.
Wow.
Wow, right? I mean, that's like huge. We know how good it is, so I'm glad to see it get that kind of
Long live
recognition.
sci-fi.
Well deserved, man. And followed by other favorites that we've talked about here, like The Bear, The Last of Us, our new favorite this year, Paradise, The Penguin,
Yeah.
Andor, even the comedy The Studio that we talked about. So lots of great critically acclaimed stuff that you can go back and binge. Super cool. You heard about it here first in the corner. The Emmy Awards will be held on September 14th. Now, it's time to turn it up to 11, guys. 40 years in the making. Get ready for the sequel to one of the most beloved comedies of the 80s, Spinal Tap. This September, they are getting the band back together for one last show. Harry Shearer, Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, and Rob Reiner will be treating us to Spinal Tap 2. The end continues. I cannot wait for this one, guys. Guaranteed hilarity. They are even teasing many guest stars, including Paul McCartney and Elton John. Spinal Tap 2 will hit theaters on September 12th. Okay, so where my Firefly plans at? Now, may
Just say
not
it
be the
again.
reunion we
Firefly flans.
Stop! Say it 5 times fast, everybody. Firefly fans. Firefly fans. But
Firefly
listen,
flan
guys.
plans.
Now, it may not be the reunion we want,
Oh,
but
this is amazing. I can't
I'm
wait.
betting it'll still be great. Nathan Fillion and Alan Tudyk have announced their new podcast, Once We Were Spacemen. So cool. They will be talking Firefly, of course, among other things, and also bringing on their favorite sci fi actors, writers, and producers. Sounds like such a blast. I
Sounds
mean,
like we need to get lined up to get in there.
seriously, can we? Because, but listen, guys, after all, they have done the impossible, and that makes them mighty. So, no firm release date yet, but I will keep on top of it and I will report back. Now, gang, there is a new murder mystery miniseries hitting Netflix today, and it is getting all the buzz. Check out Untamed. It's a murder mystery set in the vast Yosemite Park, starring Eric Bana, Sam Neill, and Lily Santiago. It's only 6 episodes. Absolutely stunning scenery and a compelling mystery that's being called an exciting and emotional ride. I'm all in, so let's check it out together, guys. All 6 episodes just dropped today on Netflix. And heads up, it's your countdown reminder to Alien Earth. Only a month away, and here's the latest. The full trailer just dropped, and it looks amazing. Give it a look, guys, and get excited. This series will hit on August 12th on Hulu and FX. And check this out, guys. Ridley Scott never seems to slow down. He has announced his newest project. He will be making a film of the post apocalyptic sci fi novel, The Dog Stars. The movie is set in the aftermath of a catastrophic flu virus that nearly wipes out humanity, and we follow a civilian pilot, a tough ex Marine, and a dog as they navigate this new reality. The cast will include Jacob Elordi, Josh Brolin, Guy Pearce, and Margaret Qualley. If it's as good as the book, this one will be all that we'll be talking about next year. It is slated to hit theaters in March of 2026. Now, I've got some really fun reviews for you. Last time we were here, I said, hey, check out the series Nautilus with me. Anyone get a chance to see it? I finally did, and I am so glad I did. It is the prequel stories of Captain Nemo, pre 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It's delightful, and I mean that in the best possible way. It has an old school, almost 80s style charm to it. Yes, the Nautilus is a submarine, but it feels so sci-fi to me, like a real original or TNG Star Trek-esque vibe, especially when they're all on deck behind the big wheel. It has really cool CGI, of course, for monsters and effects, but real action stunts, complete with 80s like musical scoring. It's exciting, but never too dark, thrilling, but never terrifying. There's even a cute little dog. So check this one out, guys. It's really fun. Easy popcorn eating entertainment that will surely put a smile on your face. The Nautilus series is on AMC. Next up, there's just something so summer about an unlikely buddy comedy,
Oh, it's
action
good.
packed, over the top thriller. Boy, do I have one for you guys. Check out Heads of State on Amazon Prime. In it, the President of the United States is a former action movie star, played by the hilarious John Cena. And the Prime Minister of the UK, played by the great Idris Elba, is a former military professional, and they have been targeted by terrorists. They are placed on a plane together. I know, suspend your disbelief. And the nonstop action unfolds. It's ridiculous. It's over the top. It's everything you need in a silly summer fun film. It also stars Priyanka Chopra, Carla Gugino, Patty Considine, Stephen Root, Jack Quaid. I mean, I could go on, each one chewing the scenery and having the time of their lives. Will this win any awards or level up the genre and change cinema? Absolutely not. Will you have an absolute blast watching it after you check your brain at the door? Yes. Yes, indeed, you will. So, have some summer fun, guys. After all, winter is coming. And that's all for the corner tonight. Back to you, Pete.
Excellent. Your choices are spot on. And so the
Yeah.
Dog Stars,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So it's based on a novel that, I mean, we haven't really heard of. It's
Yeah.
sci-fi, and so I guess what we can do is maybe, check it out. I'm gonna look for it on audio
Mm-hmm.
and put it on my list for the next book up so I can kind
Good.
of figure out, so I get a heads up on the movie,
Yeah.
or the show rather. So,
And it's Ridley Scott, man. So I'm
ooh,
always like, when I
yeah.
hear that name, I always go, oh, okay, I'm interested.
Yeah. Wow. So
Yeah.
do you
There,
know it's
there you
in
go, Pete.
post-production?
It's in post-production now. It's supposed to hit theaters in March, they're saying, March of 2026. So,
Ooh,
and what a
okay.
cast that is too.
Oh
That is a
yeah.
great
That looks
cast.
great.
You're too
Mhm.
slow.
What oh,
There it is.
you already listening to it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
seriously?
I got it. I just got it.
oh,
Oh,
you just got it
awesome.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be getting it. I'm listening. I gotta finish up my
12.
40K.
It's $12.60. It's worth it. You don't even need to use a spend a
Yeah.
credit. It's not even worth a credit yet.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, so definitely gonna look into that. So then at some point between the two of us or the three of us, we should have a discussion after we heard, listen to the
Just the
book
three of
and then
Yeah.
us.
talk about, what expectations we may have. Awesome,
Amazing.
awesome, awesome picks as
Thank
usual.
you.
Obviously, you're spot on. All the Emmys are, corresponding with the stuff that you've picked, which is
We just need to send
fantastic.
Tara to the Emmys now.
Yeah, no
We, I,
kidding.
I
There we
can,
go.
Absolutely.
I am so, I mean, things that we knew, like, would be like Severance, and no. Okay, yeah. But the Paradise is up for stuff. Made
Paradise
me
is
so
so good.
happy because you know how you and I loved that so
Oh
much.
my
It's such
God.
a good series. Yeah, to see that freshman effort get the nods, very
Yeah.
impressed.
It's really good. Did they say it's coming back or did they cancel it?
No, it's coming back.
All
Yeah.
right. Yes.
No, I can't wait.
Excellent. All right, cool. Well,
But
Tiny Bean.
the Heads of State is an amazing show. I loved it. It was
What
fun.
a
Oh, did you?
great
Yeah.
It was fun.
film.
It was just
Okay,
it was
cool.
John Cena plays an excellent part. He's funny as can be, and they go off each other quite a bit.
Yeah.
Baz wants to know: have you heard anything about Dune 3 yet?
I have not really heard much about that, so let me dig into that because I really can't wait. I'm like ready
Foundation.
for it.
I have it on good authority that Foundation is actually good, right?
Mm.
The
Hmm.
one that just dropped, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. I heard it
Uh-huh.
was very good.
Excellent.
And then of course Superman is seems to be all the rage.
Yeah.
So two good
Kim
two
says
good
she
picks
loves
right there.
Nautilus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've not watched
Nautilus
Nautilus
is
yet.
yeah.
You guys, I mean, it's so cute. It is really so like charming and delightful, and the touches are just beautiful. It's fun viewing if you want to watch something that's fun and interesting and colorful, and yeah, I can't praise it enough.
So before you go, Tiny Bean, we let's just remind everybody that your audio drama is it's in production. So we're waiting to finalize a couple of small little, hiccups that we're having before we can, give it over completely to the audio engineer. And he works quickly. He's very good. So that should take them just a couple of weeks to get that done, and we'll put that out. And you're starring in the Next Tower Protocol audio drama,
Right on.
and it's based on your character from the second part of the Tower Protocol saga, which is Resurrection, which is in the film festival circuit. And we've already got a nod. The trailer got its first selection in Shockfest. So thank you for being a part of that. We appreciate you, Tiny Bean, very
Definitely.
much. And so we're going to, at some point, bring you in, and so we can discuss the Tower Protocol. And so just keep that in mind as well. So you'll be coming back
Yep.
and we'll be talking about, your role in it and stuff. And, we're gonna get into that later on, maybe towards the end of the summer or right when we start the fall. We'll have you come in and one at a time. You guys are going to be coming in, so keep that in mind. And we're going to talk about your experience, what it's like. I mean, by then the audio drama will be out, and so that's where we're going to go with this.
Oh, I love it. I'm so
And
excited. Thank
and just so
you.
you know, Pete, I
Cool.
spent last Sunday reworking the audio and everything else in the old Tower Protocol.
Oh, excellent.
So I'm
Really?
about
I
halfway through on that one. To we're
We're going to have a
cutting out stuff.
re-release,
Yep.
the original Tower
It's
Protocol.
uh
love
it's now
it.
it's now in super high def. I think I pulled it up to 4K.
Yeah, it
Oh,
looks
that's
great.
amazing. So I don't have to keep pulling out my old VHS tape. Is that what
Correct.
you're
You still
telling
have your
me?
VHS tape? I
Excellent.
had that's part of the stuff I cut out that because I have the play
Yeah.
for the initial
Yeah.
thing. So,
Wow.
Yep. So
but yeah,
thank
so
you, Tiny
it's
Bean.
coming along. So
Great.
Here's to
Oh,
you,
great to
Tiny
hear.
Bean.
Thank you so much, guys. Fans fuel the fleet.
here's for
We'll
all you
see you
do.
soon. Thank you.
Cheers.
Take care.
Mm. All right. Well, we have in the green room, we have Chris Feehan, and he's going to give us a bit of a Star Wars update, as if there's no Star Wars, there's Star Wars everywhere. And then we're also going to talk about
So
MiniCon.
yeah, I think we
So,
need to
and
talk
we're going to be
minicon, and
there.
if he doesn't meet he doesn't meet
The
the
fundraising.
fundraising thing, does he get to do this?
No,
Since
you're still going to eat that.
no
That's
no
all
no, I
you.
only eat it if it gets to the fundraising part.
All right. Relax.
Actually,
We'll
I
see.
think
We're
what
gonna
we ought
work.
to do is get everybody there, and everybody can chip
No, no,
in
no, 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 no,
five
no, no.
dollars or
It,
something like that.
yeah,
I'll bring it with us.
yeah,
Everybody, it's just the idea. We'll clear it through Chris first. Just throw this idea out there
yeah,
because I am a sadistic son of a.
yeah. It's not happening. I
Anyways,
can tell you right now, not
we
happening.
we could say, hey, you could to make someone smell it.
Not happening.
To smell it,
Not happening. Yeah, not
it's like
happening.
an auction to find out.
Not happening.
Yeah.
You don't. You
I think
don't
it's
have
just like
any.
kind of
Just,
putting people in the
no.
jail thing that used to be back in
Yeah.
back in the
No.
day.
No. 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 No.
Oh, I think it's a
No.
great idea.
No.
I think you
Anyway,
make hundreds
so
of dollars.
right. Okay. So without further ado, Chris Fian's with us. Get him up here because he's got stuff for us. Chris, how are you? Thanks for coming on. What is up in your neck of the woods?
How you doing, guys? Great to see you.
Looking forward to seeing you soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got a lot going on up here. I gave a very extensive update last month with some of the updates from Celebration. I have a few other updates, and then I'll talk a little bit about a trip to Florida I just came back from last week and some other exciting stuff going on with the 501st, and then we'll talk a little minicon. Last time I did neglect to mention, and I was kicking myself, like, how could I not mention that they did announce the next celebration at Celebration, and it's going to be April 1st to the 4th in Los Angeles at the Los Angeles Convention Center in 2027. So it's April 1st to the 4th, April 2027 at the Los Angeles Convention Center. So it's the first time it's been at the Los Angeles Convention Center in 20 years.
Wow.
And it's going to be a big one because they're going to have all the actors there, and they're going to be celebrating the 50th anniversary of Star Wars. So it's going to be an extravaganza. So it's one I'm going to try to make. I've never actually gotten to Celebration. So if there's one to try to get to, this is probably the one. So it's very exciting, and I'm looking forward to it 2 years from now. I'm just a little bummed it's 2 years in the future, but it'll
Yes.
give me a lot of time to prepare and save up for it, for all the crap I'm going to buy there. Just a couple other quick updates. As I mentioned last time, Starfighter seems to be the fast track movie. So after Mandalorian and Grogu debuts next May, The very next movie is going to be Star Wars Starfighter, directed by Sean Levy from Deadpool vs. Wolverine, and starring Ryan Gosling and Mia Goth. So I am
Ooh.
beyond excited about this movie and what the possibilities are. It is going to take place after the Force Awakens trilogy. It's supposedly not going to step on the toes of the new Jedi Order that they're hoping to do with the Rey movie, which is kind of in development hell right now. So we'll see what they come up with. Maybe it's going to be just a fun popcorn action movie. We might be ready for that at that point. We'll have to see. But any Star Wars I'll take, and I'll make my own determination whether I'm going to like it or not. Uh, Piggybacking a little on what Tiny Bean had to say, Andor was nominated for a total of 14 Emmy nominations,
Wow.
which
Wow.
is just incredible. Surprisingly, it was nominated for Best Drama Series, but there was no acting nominations, which was a little surprising. I felt bad for Diego Luna. I think he did a very good job on that show. But no acting credits. I still think that the Emmys still kind of shun science fiction a little bit from an acting standpoint. But of course, in the technical awards and even for best drama series, it really is just about in every technical category there is. So good job for Andor, and hopefully they'll get some wins from those Emmy nominations in September. Just a couple other reminders about some other stuff that's airing right now. Tales of the Underworld season 3 of those cartoon animated shorts is now airing. It's a very solid series. Why they split it up into little 8-minute segments, I don't know. They could have just made a little 1 hour animated movie, but they're still interesting to see. Light and Magic season 2 is airing, which is basically about the formation of the behind the scenes on the Phantom Menace and when they got all of Lucasfilm to concentrate on the new trilogy. So that's a very interesting documentary. And they did announce that Visions 3 is coming in October, which is those animated shorts that are in different genres and different animation styles, mostly Japanese style animation. And there's going to be a mall animated series coming next year. So that's exciting as well. That was a surprise at the last celebration announcement. So that was something nobody saw coming. Nobody saw that coming in the future of the Disney animation, but it's going to premiere sometime next year, probably along with Ahsoka season 2. So we're hoping that gets into production in September, and it should air late 2026 or early 2027. And everybody's very excited because they did announce that Hayden Christensen will be back in some capacity, possibly as a Force ghost or, in flashbacks for Ahsoka. And he's always a fan favorite whenever he makes an appearance on a Star Wars show. There's also been some rumors circulating that they are going to move ahead with an Obi-Wan season 2. Again, just rumors, but they're getting stronger and stronger by the day. So we can only hope that something like that does happen, because I was a huge fan of the Obi-Wan series. It had some pacing issues and it had some bloat. As I mentioned, the re-edits were much better, but there was still a lot of good content there, and I just love seeing Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. I think he's really inhabited that role perfectly and really took up the mantle and did an incredible job with Obi-Wan. So basically anything with him in it, I'd be excited to watch and give a chance. That's really all I have on the Star Wars news front. Nothing else really big happening. If anything else comes up, I'll be sure to note it and talk about it in my next update. My big news in my life was about 2 weeks ago. I went to Disney for the first time in 9 years in Florida, Disney World, and got to see the Disney World Galaxy's Edge. I had seen the Galaxy's Edge in California 2 years ago, but it was really cool to see it in the Disney park in Magic King in the Disney World in Florida. It's amazing how similar they are. Very similar layouts, very similar design. I almost would not be able to tell one from the other actually while you're in the park, because just like the one in California, no matter where you look, you see the world of Batuu, which is kind of like a cross between Tatooine and some of the worlds that we've seen in Andor. A lot of technology around, robot parts, some disheveled wires hanging around from all different spires. different formations of stuff that's familiar to Star Wars. When you're there, you really feel like you're in like a Star Wars land. So it was really an exciting experience. Got to ride the Smuggler's Run, the Millennium Falcon ride, which is a very cool interactive ride where you get to pilot the Millennium Falcon, and each person gets to go in the cockpit and has a different role. One person steers left and right, one person steers up and down. The two people in the back handle the shields and the firing of the lasers. And it's just a fun, interactive motion ride that is truly interactive. You're actually controlling the ship. And when you go down, it actually goes down. And when you go up, you actually go up. So it's a very, very interactive ride. They also have Rise of the Resistance, which is a very immersive ride. You go around in a little cart that's not on any tracks, that just goes through this entire like Imperial base that takes place around the time period of The Force Awakens, and you get to run into different characters from the movies. You get to see life-size sets, including AT-AT walkers. It is really an insane, really immersive ride that takes you on an incredible ride through some of those movies and some of those characters. It was just really incredible and really immersive. I also ran into a bunch of 501st guys, four different 501st guys in the 3 or so hours I was in the Star Wars area. So it just goes to show what an international presence the 501st has. I met a guy from Texas, a guy from Maryland, a guy from Virginia, and a guy from New Jersey. And we were all wearing our racing shirts, so we easily were able to point at each other. So it was just funny running into other 501st members from all around the country while you're in Disney. It was just very, very surreal just to run into them, because you instantly have this connection. You're instantly trading cards and trading coins and saying hello to them. So it was just fun to see other members of the 501st hanging around Galaxy's Edge. So that was a fun experience. Again, this was the first time we had been there in 8 years, so we did the heck out of Disney. Went on just about all the rides. Went to all the parks. Really did the heck out of it. We actually went to the new restaurant they have there called Space 220, which takes you up on like a ride before you go to the restaurant, that you're going up to a space station where there's a restaurant. So you ride an elevator ride up to the restaurant, and then when you open it up, it's like 10 forward on Star Trek The Next Generation. There's just these giant window portals looking out onto the Earth, spinning below you, and you see shuttles going by. It looks
Cool.
photorealistic. It really was an experience. So that was fun to see. There was also some other notable new rides that I'd never seen before, like the Guardians of the Galaxy ride was incredible. It was like Space Mountain on steroids, just like a crazy indoor roller coaster space adventure with the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy. We got to go on Ratatouille. We got to go on just about everything in the park. Then we went to Universal, did the heck out of Universal. We did the Universal Park, the Harry Potter area, the Islands of Adventure, and the Epic Universe Park. And Pete, I sent you those pictures on Facebook. I was very surprised and very happy to see some classic Battlestar Galactica merchandise at the Universal store. They had some a Cylon on a jersey, like a baseball type jersey shirt. They had some other. They had a jacket. They had some other T-shirts with the original poster from the movie. It was just cool to see that they were still honoring some of the original OG
Awesome.
Battlestar Galactica stuff in the store. So I was very happy to see that. We got to ride the heck out of all the rides at Universal, a couple of which we hadn't seen before. And then we got to go to the Epic Universe, the new park, and just did the heck out of that park. And if you're a big fan of Harry Potter, the new Harry Potter Ministry of Magic ride is just incredible. They have a new whole area that is about the same size as the Diagon Alley that they have in Universal. So now they have 3 areas. They have like a Hogwarts area in Islands of Adventure. They have a Diagon Alley in Universal, and they have this Paris in the 20s, but from the Fantastic Beasts movies. So it's Paris of the 20s, but with that little magical edge. So it was really an experience to get to see that and to get to see the new park. They also have the Nintendo World. They have the How to Train Your Dragon World. They have Universal Monsters World, which has an incredible Monsters Unleashed ride that's just absolutely taking some of those immersive rides to another level with some of the animatronics and some of the effects that they had in that ride. Really, really impressive. So all around, it was just a great trip. Was completely geeking out for an entire week with the family, and it was just really a fun time. So if you have time over the summer or in the fall, definitely check out those parks. There's just so much to see, and if you haven't checked them out in a couple years like me, a lot of new stuff to check out, including this whole new Epic Universe park, which was just incredible. So just check it out and report back what you guys think. The 501st has been incredibly busy. The minute I got back from Florida, we did back-to-back concerts with Weird Al Yankovic.
Yes.
As you know, our focus is always on charity and doing charity work, but every once in a while we get asked to do something just because we're uber nerds and geeks. And Weird Al has always been a friend of the 501st for literally the past 20 years. He's invited us to his concerts to be part of the performance of The Saga Begins.
Yes.
Whenever he does that song, he likes to have stormtroopers behind him doing this choreographed dance routine and Darth Vader in the center. And he asks the local garrisons to participate, coordinates the whole thing beforehand, and we show up and just participate and get to meet him after. It was something that, because of COVID, we really had been missing. We hadn't done it in 6 years. And then, if it doesn't rain, it pours. We got two in the same weekend. We had Madison Square Garden on Saturday in New York, and then we had upstate New York, Bethel, New York, at the Bethel Outdoor Arena, which was just incredible. So 2 nights in a row, we got to do Weird Al and just participate in his uber geek experience. And it was just, again, the experience of a lifetime. And I'm just so honored and feel so fortunate to be part of this group and part of this organization and be given the opportunities to do stuff like that, because it was just really, the geek in me was just geeking out constantly throughout the entire thing. So it was really a fun time. What we have coming up on the horizon is this Saturday, our sci-fi mini-con to benefit the Cerebral Palsy Association. I know IFB is going to be there. They're going to have a table and a great presence there. We're going to be having some incredible activities there, including the Blaster Trooper. We're going to have some raffles. We're going to have a live auction from 12:30 to 1:30 with some sci-fi items, including some Battlestar Galactica items. And we're going to have some incredible guests, including Michael C. Williams from the Blair Witch Project, Catherine Mary Stewart from The Last Starfighter and Night of the Comet, Damian Maffei, who was in The Strangers 2 and is in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game, the wrestler Brimstone, a B-list movie actor, Joe Zazzo, who has been in a ton of horror movies and sci-fi movies over the years, and has just been a friend of the Minicon and has been there 3 times in a row. So thank you, Joe, for coming. And a Star Trek author, Michael Jan Friedman, who, if you don't know who that is, he's written, I think, about 60 Star Trek books, including 10 that were on the New York Times bestseller list. So he's a longtime Star Trek author. He also does some original sci-fi novels. He's come the past 2 years. We're so happy to have him come back. He has a huge following, and people come to get their books signed by him, and we're just very lucky to have him come to our little mini-con. But it's going to be a great adventure. It's going to be a great time for the charity, and we're hoping to even beat what we raised last year, which was about $6,000. We're hoping to even break that this year. And if you can't attend in person, we also have a raffle for a 7-foot Darth Vader animated statue that I'm sure Pete and Chris can put up the links for that in the chat.
Where's that one at?
Oh, you'll find. Chris has already donated. Thank you, Chris. And we're hoping to push that over $1,000 to raise money for the Cerebral Palsy Association. And
the deal is, I said we have a deal on that one. Pete and I put a deal on that one. If you go over the amount, or you get to the amount, I'll do the Nostromi challenge.
Oh, okay.
If you don't, then you do it.
Oh, geez.
No.
We're gonna push
That's
it.
not part of it. No, it's all tipsy. He's got to do this with Nostromi. He's gonna love it. He's gonna eat it with his fingers. It's so delectable.
Well, we're gonna push it over the top. We're gonna push the thing over the top. We're hoping to raise $1,000 or more for the charity. And the Ghostbusters are raffling off a proton pack
Nice.
for the Cerebral Palsy Association, which I think is already over $1,000. So we're very excited, and we think that between those, the local raffles, the auctions, we're going to push it over the top. We also may have some special guests coming, surprise guests, which I'm not going to mention, and we're going to have some Q&As with some of the actors. So if you'd really like to ask the actors a question or have been dying to ask them something, feel free to participate in the Q&A that's going to be live from 2:15 to 3 o'clock during the day at the Minicon. We're also going to have some movie cars, including possibly up to 3 or 4 DeLoreans. I
Oh,
actually have a DeLorean, and I have some friends who have DeLoreans, and they're all planning to bring the DeLoreans, hoping the weather holds out, and we'll have a real scene in front of the Minicon with a meeting of the DeLoreans on Long Island. We also have a Ghostbuster mobile that one of the Ghostbuster guys brings. Unfortunately, the Batmobile we just found out is not going to be able to attend this year due to something a delay with the owner of the Batmobile. He's not able to bring it this year. But we'll
The
hopefully get that
bat
next.
plugs were fouled, so they
Now,
couldn't start them.
unfortunately, he had some issues and was not able to swing it this year. But we'll hopefully have him back next year. He came 2 years ago. It was a huge hit. He has an incredible Batmobile, and hopefully he'll be back next year. But we're going to make up for it with like multiple DeLoreans that'll look like they were all duplicated and cloned in front of the Minicon. We also have other stuff coming up this year, including New York Comic Con. We're hoping to have a huge presence there and raise money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And we do a Sugar Plum Ball in December for the Cerebral Palsy Association that we're hoping will be very beneficial for them, where we have some of the kids in our program with various disabilities come together with other kids to have just a full-on party with a DJ and dancing and raffles and just fun for everybody with Jedi from the Saber Guild, stormtroopers from the 501st Legion. It's just a beautiful community event that we've been participating in the past 5 or 6 years, and we're hoping to make that a success for the charity this year. And if you'd like any information about the 501st Legion in general, you can check out 501st.com, or about what we're doing in the New York area. The Empire City Garrison is incredibly active. We do stuff almost every weekend on the island in New York City and in the Hudson Valley. And you can find out more about us at 501ecg.com for anything in the New York area. So thank you guys for listening, and we can't wait to see you at Minicon.
Yep.
We just love having you there and reporting back on all the craziness that happens. It's a very small but a very mighty con, and we're hoping to make it another success for the Cerebral Palsy Association this year.
absolutely.
This is where
Thank
we
you very
stand
much,
at
Chris.
with the
There it is. Oh,
7-foot Darth Vader.
Oh, I have to show you-
780 of $2,500.
I know it's getting there. It's close. We're only like 220 away, so we're really close. I wanted to just do a little show and tell. I wanted to show you the 3 ridiculous purchases I made on my trip.
oh yes, please. And
The first one was a giant C3PO head.
ooh,
It's actually movie accurate, and the face comes off. I want to use this with my Jawa.
awesome.
You may not know this about me, but I have a Tron video game in my basement. The actual Tron
Oh,
video
I
game.
love Tron. Yes.
Obsessed lunatic. I have a Tron outfit from Tron Legacy. I have the Tron video game.
You actually have the actual outfit, or
I have a replica,
a
perfect
replica?
outfit,
Okay.
Legacy that I'm hoping to break out this year. And I was very excited to ride the Light Cycle ride.
Yeah.
It was absolutely incredible. You can actually get to make a figure of yourself at the Tron
No
store.
way.
Ooh.
And it was the coolest experience. You get to
They scan
like
you in.
have your face. They take a picture of your face, and they put it in a figure. And if I can figure out how to turn this darn thing on, I'm going to show you right now.
Oh boy.
Oh my goodness! And it comes in a case that's the video game. Hold on, I'm having technical difficulties finding this.
Oh boy. Now you.
Look at this thing.
Oh.
It comes in
Oh
the
my
arcade
gosh,
game
that's
case.
amazing.
And if you look closely,
That's hard to see, but
it's going to be hard to see. It's my face on the figure. They put your face projected in the figure. I could not believe it. And I
That's
said,
cool.
I have to have this thing. I have to have this. This was the coolest collectible I've ever seen.
That's cool.
Get this thing with the figure inside. I couldn't believe it.
it's too bad they didn't
Oh,
have a
that's
Battlestar
cool.
Galactica stand-up video game.
I know. That would be incredible.
They had pinball
Imagine
game though.
that.
They did have pinball.
And of course, I had to get my one Back to the Future purchase at Universal. I got this little Back to the Future backpack with the
Nice.
So I tried to keep it light, but I wanted everything there. So I had to pick and choose my battles of what I was going to buy there.
Have you
Well,
seen the
okay.
countdown clock from what's the company that we just had on, Pete?
Entertainment,
Entertainment?
Entertainment
Factory
Oh,
Factory.
the
Entertainment?
flux capacitor I purchased it
Yeah.
already.
Okay.
That's
So,
already in my garage.
all right. So, Chris, I need your permission to use the pictures you sent. I want to post them on IFB.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Those are
So
all
those.
publicly available pictures of us with Al. And if you
Okay.
want to post the ones with some of the BSG merchandise,
Yeah.
feel free.
Perfect. All right.
Awesome.
So
I'll also send you the thing for the Darth Vader.
yeah,
If you'd
send
like
that
to
all
share
to
I've
me.
that,
got
and
it.
really
We're gonna
anybody,
put it up.
if you want any shot at it, really, it's a $10 donation, and you get a shot at a 7-foot animated Darth Vader. The thing
Perfect.
whips around a lightsaber and talks. It's incredible.
All right, so we're going to credit you. Thank you so much for sharing those. I also want to invite you back separately for a Back to the Future themed IFB episode with none other than Derek Johnson from California, who is another die-hard. I mean, totally. That's what he does. Cosplays it, the whole 9 yards. So keep that in mind. So later on in the year, we'll set aside a date for you to come back, and
Yep.
we'll do
When-
all Back to the Future stuff.
Whenever
Hey,
you
Pete.
guys need me, I'd love to
Yeah.
participate. And I'm so excited because it's the 40th anniversary of the movie. It's really an incredible year this year.
Oh
I
yeah,
believe it's been 40 years.
incredible.
I can't wait for the 50th anniversary of Battlestar.
Yeah, that's coming.
Very
It's
soon.
coming very soon. But as always, Chris, thank you so much for taking the time out. Everybody loves your updates. They're sending all kinds of well wishes.
Yep.
So
And I put I put a link up. It did come
yep,
back a
we
minute
put a
ago
link
that
up.
It didn't
So
work. So
we
I
will
don't know if it worked
see
this time or not.
you on Saturday at the Minicon with bells on, and
Yep.
we're bringing stuff to give away as well as donating to the auction again this year. So be there or be square. We will be there. So
Fantastic. Thank you so much, guys.
all right, thank
See
you,
you
Chris.
Saturday.
Can't wait to see you.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have some fun
Fans
as
fuel the
usual.
fleet.
Fans
Fuel
fuel
the
the fleet. Thank you, Chris.
You got it.
Oh man, I'm psyched. Cool. So that's awesome when the fans get involved with the charity stuff.
Yep.
And
I did post the
I-
charity link up. It doesn't look
Yeah.
pretty, but it's
So,
there.
it's important to actually do this stuff, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if, you know,
It's a group
look,
of
we
people
all
who
have
can get
fun
together
doing
and
it.
make a difference. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the point. So,
I think
I'm looking
Lola
forward to
actually got with me, and Lola actually donated as well already.
oh, well, thank you, Lola. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody that supports IFB and supports all of the charity work that everybody here does. Well, so we full house, and later on
who's next?
towards we have our special guest
Gotcha.
that's
Working on
waiting
it.
in the green room, and Wyatt Weed, who is an actor and is a producer.
I couldn't fit everything in his lower third.
Well, he's a filmmaker. He's a visual effects
I
guy.
know,
He
but there's
does
just
all
only
these
so many
things.
characters in his lower third. So
well,
I just
you
had
know
to put
what?
just
That's
filmmaker because we had to put everything else together. But
you know what?
I mean,
We'll make sure that
I
look,
needed an extra, probably
like another. It
page
wouldn't
or
have been a
two?
third. It would have been like a half if we did a wall. But
lower
that's
half.
actually-
I think is what
yeah.
we need. Lower thirds
Listen,
are not going to
listen.
work.
It's okay. So we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna bring him on. He has a real long history. I'm gonna bring up the Batman thing because I know he's a Batman fan, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Of course, there's Star Trek to discuss. There's all the work that he does. Both in front and behind the camera. He's a fan.
He's a fan.
We're-
That's the important part.
Yes, that's number one. So without further ado, thank you so much for taking the time out. Welcome to IFB, Wyatt. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm hoping that my audio is working.
It
You
is
are
working.
amazing. Yes. The audio
Okay,
is fine.
excellent. Excellent. Good job. Okay. No, I'm doing well, guys. I'm doing really well. It's too bad I wasn't on there for just a brief second with the other Chris who just went off the air, because he would flip if he saw my cast of the original studio
Holy
Whoa.
crap!
version of the Colonial Viper, and
Whoa.
it's got I've got a vacuform canopy for it, and I've got the wings for it as well. So this has been a project. I have acquired these things over the many years that I've been working,
Whoa.
and I just need to finally sit down and start working on this thing. And
Oh, wow.
I've got some other fun stuff too. But I thought Chris
Oh.
would appreciate
Oh,
seeing
yeah.
Wow.
that studio scale Viper.
I'm
Well,
surprised you
oh,
don't have
man.
that in like what do you call it? A small a shrine with smoke and
You
And
know,
the cubits on the bottom of
cubits
it.
around
Give
it.
Helmet.
Yeah.
give it time, give it time. Back in the day, like when I first started building model kits when I was a kid, building models for my own movies, you were trying to mess with grain of wheat bulbs and you were
Oh, yeah.
dismantling flashlights and stuff like that. And now you can get online and order LEDs that are remote controlled and can
Yeah.
change color and flash. And so I've got a Hero series, like 30-inch um, X-wing fighter that
Oh,
we've found these little LED units that locked into the back, and now I can control it and light the engines up. And I'm working on a big USS Enterprise motion picture refit model. And that's all. It's just amazing how easy all that stuff has become. It's still a lot of work, but I think kids these days are like, oh, I'm just going to get a string of LEDs. I'm going to put them up around my room and I can change color. It's like they don't understand how cool that is, because back
Oh,
in the
yeah.
day, oh my God, we're sitting there with wire cutters, batteries, and
That's right.
yeah. And if you got the voltage ever so slightly wrong, you pop the light. And
Yep.
yeah.
See,
So
this is the stuff so now we're dinosaurs, right? We're the historians. Nobody wants to hear it, but that's the truth of the matter. Oh my God.
I am the dinosaur that was on the cusp of the digital revolution,
Yeah.
because I, like so many people, saw Star Wars and flipped out and decided, okay, I have to be a filmmaker. I have to do this. And I was 13 years old. So I borrow a Super 8 camera. I start making films. Then I start volunteering in cable television, and I'm taking the big, huge tube camera and the 3/4 inch deck out into the field. And then I go to film school and I'm working in 16 millimeter. And, there came a point where I was like, oh, digital's cheap, and I can get a hold of digital and I can do digital. And so I wasn't precious about film. I mean, I enjoyed film and I liked film, and I learned so much from film. But then when the digital revolution hit, I was very quick to adopt the cinema style digital cameras. And so I feel like, this old dog who knows all the filmmaking tricks, but has been able to apply that to, this digital revolution. So I feel, but it's interesting to come up against young people. And I'm talking like 21, 22, 23 years old, like hot out of film school. And they've got remote control follow focus and Bluetooth control on their LED lights. And I'm like, dude, just make some pencil marks on the lens, hit your focus. I don't care. I've got gels. I don't need Bluetooth tie-in to my light. Let's just set up some wheels. Let's put a camera on a dolly and let's make a movie. And the sad part is that some of them get crippled. They're like, "Oh, my digital technology doesn't work. My internet isn't connecting. I can't shoot films today." And I'm like, "You can always shoot. If you've got working fingers, you can make a film." It's interesting but I learn a lot from the young people too. I learn a lot from them and their sort of carefree approach to things. So it's interesting. It's interesting. But I am a dinosaur. I'm definitely a dinosaur.
Oh, I think Pete and I both qualify for that too.
Yeah.
Dinosaur status. Yeah.
That's
Oh,
it.
absolutely.
OG
Oh my God.
or OD, old dinosaur.
Yeah.
One of
Old
the two.
dinosaurs. But it's funny that Chris Feehan, he is one of prominent individuals in the 501st.
Yeah.
He was one of the original presidents of the
OG.
Battlestar fan
Yeah.
club.
Okay.
So back in the day,
Back in the
with
day.
Richard Hatch and the guys and everybody else, the BFC is still around. Obviously, it's run by others, friends of ours as well, and supporters, which we appreciate. So yes, he was a big Battlestar fan, and still is. So, but here on IFB, we created this because we have this common love for BSG. Wyatt, you've been involved. You're a fan. You know what it's like to actually work in the franchise, as a paid professional. So, you bring a whole different aspect to what you can talk about and what
Sure.
you present. And as a fan, and we, this Chris, the Dipsy Toaster and I, there's a lot of Star Trek podcasts and streamers, a lot of Star Wars guys, and the
Oh
one
yeah,
thing that
tons of
that
them.
bonds us is Galactica, and so that's kind of where we come from. But we watched all that 70s and 80s stuff. We grew up on it, and it kind of changes things a little bit. And of course, look, comic books, of course, the Batmans and the Supermans and all that. But um and when you're talking about film, I'm finishing up a film program myself, and so I know exactly what you mean when you're talking about the young people and their energy and the way they see things. But you know, take us back a little bit and tell us about your involvement with Star Trek and Next Gen, and then you did some stuff with Voyager, and you're an original Star Trek fan as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Star Trek Next Generation. First, I went out to Los Angeles in 1988. I was in my,
Oh, wow.
I would have been like 24 when I went out there. Um, I don't know that Los Angeles was ever in my cards, but what I realized, I came out of film school, a school called Webster University here in St. Louis, and I realized they weren't doing the stuff here that I wanted to do. They were doing local supermarket commercials, they were doing, local business radio spots. You could work here in the industry, you just weren't going to do glamorous stuff. So I decided it was time to go to Los Angeles. And it was so crazy because this is the kind of thing that would terrify parents today because I basically had like $500 cash, a piece of crap 1976 Grand Prix, and I pretty much loaded my life into the back of that Grand Prix and went to Los Angeles. And I knew a guy who was at Cal Arts, and I knew a guy who'd gone out there before me and was getting jobs. And I basically started crashing on couches and getting film jobs. One thing that's different between, I think, people back then and kids now is back then it was like, do or die. Man, if I fail in California, I'm going home with my tail between my legs and I'm a loser. Kids today are like, I'll go to California, I'll do the job, I'll look around. If there's not another job, I'll go home. They have a very different attitude about it. And I think that's a really good way to go. I know so many people here in St. Louis who are like, yeah, I'll go to Chicago, I'll do a job, then I'll come home. I'll go to Atlanta, I'll do a job, I'll come home. Back then we were like, do or die, man. You can't fail. You got to go to LA and succeed. So I go to LA and I start doing extra jobs. I start doing minor creature effects. Star Trek was amazing because I got with this casting service, and I swear I showed up at Paramount Studios for a casting call. And this is the story of like you walk into the studio and there's like 50 other people who look exactly like you. There were like 50 other tall, dark-haired guys. We all looked the same because everybody in this episode, it's like the men were all tall with black hair and the women were all tall with red hair. And the men had a white stripe in their dark hair, the women had a black stripe in their red hair, something like that, which makes them aliens, of course. And so I walked in and I almost missed the call because I had to run back out and put change in my parking meter. And when I came back in, they had already blown through all 50 of these guys. They looked at him and went, yes, 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 no, 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 yes, 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 and just dismissed them. So I walked back in at like, the call was at like 1:30. I walked back in at like 1:32 and everybody's gone. And I stick my head into the casting room and there's like three executives sitting at a table. And I'm like, what happened? Where is everybody? And they're like, oh, who are you? Come on in. And I think I was so relaxed and so like shocked and out of my, like I was so surprised that everybody was gone that I was like acting. I didn't just walk in there and stand there and go, "Oh, hi, hello, hi, how are you? Yeah, hi." I walked in and I was so beside myself that I just started talking with them and laughing with them and joking with them. And they're like, "Come on in, sit down. We're still looking for people." I'm like, "Oh, thank God." And I walk in and I sit down in the chair and I'm just chewing the fat with them. And I think that's when they looked at the casting sheet and went, "Well, we need, Alexana, the police commander. She needs a bodyguard. I think this guy could be her bodyguard." So it was just a complete happenstance that I got cast as this Rutian guard. I didn't have a character name, but I do still to this day have Star Trek Next Generation call sheets with my name on the call sheet. And the woman who was the guest star was an actress named Carrie Keene. And I knew who this woman was. She had been in a movie that I really liked called The Incubus, which was a horror film with John Cassavetes. And so, of course, she and I immediately bonded because the first time we're on set together, I'm like, "Carrie, I loved The Incubus." And she's like, "Oh my God, you saw that." And so we started being geeks and fans. Star Trek was probably the best experience I've ever had on a set. Treated well, fed well, paid well. It was just a phenomenal experience. And the classy old days of like, we're gonna pay you for an interview, we're gonna pay you for your casting sessions, we're gonna pay you for your costume fittings. And it was working 3 days and not having to work hard and having a chair when I was ready to sit down. It was just, I was not the star, but I felt like I was treated like a star. And my first day walking in, after hair and makeup and costume, I walk on set and there's Jonathan Frakes, who says, "Hi, I'm Jonathan. Let me be the first to welcome you aboard the Enterprise, and let me be the first to say, nice hair," because I had this white stripe in my hair. And they all just, I think the professionalism for me on that set was not flipping out, was just like being cool and just being an actor. Because you're standing there talking to Jonathan Frakes, you're standing there talking to Riker, and all of a sudden out of the corner I can hear that voice, "Here comes Patrick Stewart," and he walks up and he says hello and they're talking. And it's just like, how's the weather? What was your traffic like? What was your drive in like? It's that kind of stuff. And then here comes Michael Dorn. There was a point in time where we were on a bit of a break. They were resetting camera and lights, and they sent us over to sit down in a circle of chairs. And it was me, the other security guard, probably Carrie, and then Gates McFadden, Patrick Stewart, Jonathan Frakes, and gosh, I don't know who else. And we're just sitting in a circle of chairs for about an hour and a half, waiting and talking, and just being a fly on the wall and listening to them talk about the work, talk about conventions, talk about fans. They were talking about conventions, and Jonathan Frakes said, "Oh my God, I had a fan the other day at a convention ask me, does it feel better to dematerialize or materialize?" referring to the transporter. And Gates McFadden said, "Oh, that's cute." And Jonathan said, "You think that's cute?" He says, "I think that's scary." But yeah, just that sort of fly on the wall inside track, and just seeing how they worked, seeing their level of professionalism. It was just hands down, I think, the best experience I ever had. And I knew from the moment I was cast, I'm like, I'm on Star Trek. I don't have any lines of dialogue. I'm very well featured, but if I never do another acting gig in my life, I am in syndication for history. I am in syndication until the end of time. And I knew this. And see, I'd already done several bits on other shows that turned out to be nothing. So I didn't say much. And my friends were like, "How was Star Trek? How was Star Trek?" I'm like, yeah, it was, I think it might be okay. Because I knew what the shots were. And as a filmmaker, I knew what they were doing. I knew how they were shooting stuff, but I didn't know what was going to be cut and what was going to be kept. So all my friends came over the night of the big premiere. We're all sitting there watching the show. And at the ending, like it's the opening, and it's like right before they go to the opening credits, it's like dun dun dun, and it's Carrie Keene and me and this other guy Nick, and we're just all standing there with our phasers drawn, looking around, looking all intense, and then it goes to black and it goes into the opening credits. And my friends just all went insane. And I was like, finally, because I'd done so many gigs where I got to interact with an actor, or I had a bit with somebody, or had a line of dialogue and cut. And so this was the first time, like, yeah, that's me. That's my face. Nobody's going to miss that. There I am. Voyager came around years later through another sort of an odd, a totally different connection where there was a guy named, I'm going to drop names here. There's a guy named Pennington, Don Pennington. And Don Pennington would come to be known later as the guy who supervised the construction of a lot of the big, large size miniatures for Titanic. He, not the big 40-foot long Titanic at Digital Domain, but he was building like the 110-foot long sections that like they snapped in half. They did the snap in half sequence in the film. He was building these gigantic Titanic sections. Well, I'd gotten 2 calls. One call was to be a producer, like an associate producer on a feature film. The other call was to work on Star Trek Voyager and as a model maker. And so I went to meet with the people who had the low budget film, and I could just tell it's an associate producer credit. It's cool. I'm going to get to be very involved. This film is going to be horrible. This film is going to suck. This film has a low budget. I've met the director. The director has no idea what he's doing. This is going to be horrible. So I excused myself. I went out to a telephone in the hallway. I called Don Pennington and I said, is the job still available? Can I come and work on Voyager? And he's like, yeah, can you get here by noon? And I'm like, yeah. I hung up the phone, went back into the production office for the low budget film and said, hey, sorry guys, I'm not going to be able to do it. Thanks for the interview. And I walked out, and a half hour later, I was in the Valley working on Star Trek Voyager. And what I chiefly worked on there, we built the array for the pilot episode of Voyager, where they get whisked off to the Delta Quadrant by the big array that looks like a giant satellite with these big, and there were all these arms extending with these cool panels on it. So I was working on these very large panels and making all this detail and then making molds. And we made the hero array. And I want to say we made 2 additional arrays out of softer foam material for the explosion, so they could have a couple of chances to blow the thing up. So the hero array looked really, really beautiful. the exploding arrays, they kind of looked like second string versions that were a little droopy and a little floppy, but they were going to explode, so it really didn't matter. So that's how I ended up on Voyager. And then, interestingly enough, I had a connection on the Paramount lot, someone who was working at CBS Viacom. And I was always meeting her and going to lunch with her and doing things with her. So later on, I ended up on just visiting. I ended up visiting the Deep Space Nine sets. And then I ended up going to the Voyager sets. So the Enterprise sets. So I've seen the Next Gen sets. I've seen the Enterprise D sets. I've seen the Deep Space Nine sets, and I've seen the Enterprise sets. And it's been fascinating to see those sets, to see the evolution, because Star Trek: The Next Generation, that was more like, pull a couple of screws out of the wall, slide the flat out of the way, get the camera in there. By the time you got to Enterprise was like, unlock these metal locks, put down this lift, and wheel this pie-shaped section out. Like, they had really gotten modularized, and they really knew how to put these things together and build them at that point. The promenade set on Deep Space Nine, though, the big central corridor of the station, was huge. You got into the middle of it, and you really, with a little imagination, you really couldn't see off of either end. And if you didn't look up too much into the stage ceiling, you were on a space station in space. And you'd walk by Quark's bar, and you'd look in there, and there's a functioning bar in there. Really, really amazing. And the Enterprise D, I think, if I remember this correctly, they had the sets strung between 2 stages. and they had a door between the two stages. And I think there might have been a brief break there, but basically one corridor went up to the stage door and then the other corridor picked up. You could walk through the entire Enterprise D. You could go from the bridge to the captain's, room, to the corridors, to engineering, to medical. You could walk all the way through that ship. It was really, really impressive. And I, like everybody else, stole isolinear chips out of the engineering section. And I later met someone who was associated with the production who said, "Oh yeah, everybody stole those. We used to mass produce those because it was like giving away a prop because everybody stole the isolinear chips." So yeah, that was my Star Trek experience. And I think about that time I was starting to move out of the acting. I went to Los Angeles thinking, I'll act my way into directing. I want to be a director, but I love acting. So, those guys like, Robert Redford and Warren Beatty, those guys, I'll act my way into directing without realizing how difficult either one of those professions is. So I started getting more involved in production because I'd always built models. I'd always sculpted. I always knew how to do the art department stuff. And what I found was, I was paying the bills easier doing the special effects, but I moved up through the ranks much faster. Like, I was acting and acting and acting and acting and never got a SAG voucher for years. And then I started doing production, and the next thing you know, I'm a miniature supervisor, and then I'm an associate producer, and then I'm a second unit director, and then I'm a producer, and now I'm starting to write screenplays. So I moved up the production ranks much quicker. And then, to make a long story really short, it all came around decades later back to the acting. And that's largely due to my Batman film. So I've just cut out a lot of information there. And, going to something that Chris said, there wasn't enough room on the lower thirds. I genuinely feel like, in the best way possible, I feel like a jack of all trades. That in the best sense of the word. The phrase is jack of all trades, master of none. I don't actually feel that. I've been at this almost 40 years, so I have literally achieved craftsman level of hours in sculpting, set construction, design work, miniatures, and so forth and so on. So I really do feel like I am a jack of all trades, which, when you then get to independent filmmaking, low budget indie filmmaking, that really pays off. That really helps. So
that is incredible. That's a heck of a story, though. In and of itself, Wyatt, that what you were able to achieve back in the day when it was possible. I don't know that it's possible anymore to quite have a trajectory. I think you have to really work a lot harder. The industry's changed. Do you agree?
Well, something that's absolutely a factor, and it's absolutely a factor in just about everything we do, is the internet and social media. I mean, I know people now who are casting films, and they're casting actors, and they're casting good actors who they think can do the work. But sometimes, all things being equal, if you've got two actors who are equal, if this one's got hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, they're going to get cast.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, you get some old school guys who, they're sort of old school, young old school, like your George Clooney and your Brad Pitt and people like that. They're sort of old school, but still of the modern era. You can get by with them because, Brad Pitt's got name recognition. You put Brad Pitt in your film, you're good. But now I think they're looking just as much as, you talk about the 4-quadrant appeal. Like, can it play on television? Can it play at movie theaters? Does it have a soundtrack? Will it sell toys? You've got this multi-quadrant thing that you look at. And I think with people who are doing the work, how tied in are they? Do they have a social media following? How savvy are they? Can they do the work and post about it? And I do think the digital breakthrough. I was talking about how I learned film, but I embraced digital. Digital is fantastic because it allows people to finally be filmmakers. It's like back when I was a kid, I had to find the money to buy a reel of film, and I had to find the money to develop it. And if I shot it wrong, I had to go shoot it again. Nowadays, the cell phones, the imagery available on the cell phones is remarkable and high quality. So the entry level for anyone who wants to do something visual is very low. And with all due respect to those people, because occasionally you get like some 13-year-old girl who blew out of, Nebraska or something, who's a genius. But then you've got, kids on TikTok who are getting hundreds of thousands of views because they do dance videos and they post them. If I had done my Batman film 30 years ago, they probably would have swept me off my feet, cast me in a movie immediately. Doing my Batman film now, it's lost in the field of 500 other Batman fan films and Ghostbusters fan films and Star Wars fan films, and bless all of them. I love fan films, but a good story and good quality craftsmanship still rises to the surface, even with the oncoming threat of AI. I think it's still going to be about the storytelling and the quality of what you do. But man, it's so much harder to send up a flare and get noticed now. Do you guys know who Sandy Calora is? Sandy Calora made a fan film back in the early 2000s called Batman Dead End. And it was Batman meets the Joker, meets the alien, meets the Predator.
Yes.
Okay.
I've seen it. Yes.
Okay. Sandy made that film, and that got Sandy on a studio level. That got Sandy in the door. He's interviewing with film studios. He's working on stuff. He's getting gigs. That was like an entry-level piece for him. My Batman fan film, which probably isn't quite at the technical quality that his was, my Batman fan film, I didn't expect anything like that. It was barely, 14, 15 years later after Sandy's, and I knew my fan film, I thought if it's lucky to find a fan base and if it's lucky to get views, I will be happy. And yeah, I knew with the advent of, Troops came out, which was the sort of cops-based version of the Stormtroopers out.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So entertaining and so funny. And that was sort of ground zero. And then after that, it was just, man, you gotta really set something on fire in order to get noticed now. So I don't know if that exactly answered your question, but it's weird. Yeah, it's easier to do the work now, harder than ever to get noticed. Way harder than ever to get noticed.
Wyatt, where does your Batman fan film live now?
It lives on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. I'm Wyatt Weed on YouTube, Wyatt Weed 5, I think. But it's called The Dark Knight Returns, an epic fan film. And this was something, I read The Dark Knight back in 1986 when it was first released. Loved it, could see it so visually. As I could read the comic and the panels were storyboards to me. But back then I was in my 20s, I'm not going to be Bruce Wayne. I'm not going to be 55-year-old retired Bruce Wayne. So I kind of tried to launch a fan film then, but it was still going to be film or it was going to be horrible quality video. And I just couldn't get it off the ground. And then I got to Los Angeles. And of course, Los Angeles was just about surviving and paying the rent. I wasn't making fan films in Los Angeles. So in 2014, I directed and photographed. I was the cinematographer on a feature film called Four Color Eulogy. And I came off of Four Color Eulogy sort of empowered. Like I watched Four Color Eulogy and I went, I can do this. Like I knew I could photograph stuff. I knew I could shoot video, but I thought, I feel really good about being able to handle some difficult things. And so I came out of Four Color Eulogy and I turned to everybody and I said, my next project is going to be The Dark Knight Returns. And all I ever wanted to do from a fan film standpoint is there's the first issue of a 4-issue series. And the first issue has the retired Bruce Wayne. He's 55 years old. He hasn't been Batman for 10 years now. And all the bad things that are going on in Gotham City, he sort of snaps and he decides to go back out and be Batman again. I wanted to do sort of the opening up through the first night where he goes back out on the town. I didn't have visions of doing a 3 hour long epic. I had visions of doing that first portion of that first book. And so it's 2014. I'm now 50 years old. I'm thinking, well, okay, I know I can direct this. I know I can shoot this. I know I can make this happen. I have favors. I have equipment. I have ways to do this in the St. Louis area. I can do this. I can make the costume myself. I can do the visual effects. Who's going to be Batman? And all of a sudden it was like, bing, I'm going to be Batman. Because nobody else is going to cast me as Bruce Wayne Batman. And I thought, I will cast myself as Bruce Wayne Batman. Who's going to say no? It's my film. And so, yeah, that began like a 2 year long process of making The Dark Knight Returns, which is about a 46-minute long fan film, which for the most part, I think has been fairly well received. I think it's probably got maybe about 1.25 million views on YouTube. I was thrilled the day I broke 1 million views. I was like, okay, it's official. I've gone viral on YouTube. I can retire now. But yeah, I was really, really proud of it. And for a brief period of time, I must admit, I thought about doing additional chapters. I thought I could probably do 3 or 4 more films and encompass the entire story. But it took so much time and energy to do this first piece. And then I thought, God, if I start working on the entire Batman saga, the Dark Knight saga, I won't do anything else. I'll end up doing this for the next 10 years, and then I won't accomplish anything else because there are other projects I want to do. And there are other fan films I want to do. I want to do a Star Wars fan film. I'd love to do an Indiana Jones fan film. So I'd like to do some of these other fan films, plus my own original stuff. So I know some fans still to this day are like, when's the rest of the Dark Knight happening? I'm like, sorry, guys. And you know how forgiving fans are. They're not. Fans are incredibly critical. But then what that did lead to, and I talked earlier about The Dark Knight Returns opening other doors. I've been involved in this project in Boston called Spider-Man Monsters of Manhattan. And if this thing gets finished and they finish it the way they want to, this will be what I envisioned for The Dark Knight. This will be the most epic, incredible fan film you've ever seen. It's basically a feature-length story, an original story about Spider-Man, and it includes Wilson Fisk and the Scorpion and all kinds of intrigue and all kinds of crazy stuff. And these guys have been working on this thing for years.
Wow.
And the footage I've seen is fantastic. They've flown me out to Boston 3 times, I think, to shoot on it. And in that project, I play Nick Fury. I'm old school Nick Fury with the eye patch and the cigar. And at one point, I've got the blue uniform with the white stripe, the straps on, and the big white gun. And that happened because of The Dark Knight. They saw The Dark Knight and they went, "Hey, this guy, he could be Nick Fury." And they contacted me and we talked. And then that's led to other things. I did a feature film last year called Derek Todd Lee, the Baton Rouge Serial Killer, which should be released sometime relatively soon. I just finished working on a feature earlier in June called Reaper Road by a guy named Mondo Franco, which is a horror film. And for those of you out there who are horror fans, Reaper Road stars an actress named Jackie Kelly. And Jackie Kelly's developing a real strong horror following. She's amazing. I just sat down with Mondo this week and we talked about other projects he wants to do. So it's really interesting now to come back full circle to the acting because my wife and I do production full time. And a lot of it's not feature films. It's not music videos or short films. A lot of it's corporate and commercial work. That pays the bills. We do a lot of work for nonprofits. We work for the Humane Society. We work for the MS Society, the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. So we do a lot of videos that get used for fundraising and awards ceremonies. But we do production full time. And then that allows us the opportunity to occasionally do a short film or something else. But it's fun now to come back to the acting. I'm older. I'm more confident. I'm more of a character actor now. back then it was like your whole worth was wrapped up in your appearance and your fitness, and can I beat the other 50 guys who look exactly like me and sound like me in a Hollywood audition? And now it's like they come to me and they say, I want a Wyatt Weed type. I need the dad. I need the police chief. I need the mayor. I need, so now I'm doing these character parts. The next couple of things that I talked to Mondo about is he wants me to be like an ex-cop supervisor in a security office. And then the other part was he wants me to be a vampire hunter. And I'm like, bring it on, man. Bring it on. Yeah. So yeah, it's been fun to do the filmmaking and then have the acting come back around. Yeah.
I would say that you look a lot like
I know you're going to say, but go ahead and say it. Okay. I thought you were going to say Pedro Pascal.
Nope.
Because that I get
there.
a lot.
That's there for sure.
Yeah, that's there. But
Nathan Fillion, though, I get Nathan Fillion a lot, and these are not bad things. It's like you're putting me in
like
categories with these guys. That is not a bad thing.
Oh boy!
Last year at a convention here in St. Louis, I went out. I didn't compete in the masquerade, but I talked to the masquerade people, and I got permission. When the masquerade opened, I went out on stage dressed as Billy Butcher from The Boys. And I know you probably can't see it at the moment, but I had the full beard, blacked it all in, darkened the eyebrows, and went out. And I did this whole Billy Butcher presentation about surviving the coming superhero apocalypse. And it was very funny. And I managed to keep it PG-13 rated. And I was thinking now it'd be fun to go and do Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four, but he gets it wrong and he thinks he's doing Wonder Woman 1984. So, he walks out on stage as Mr. Fantastic and he's like, life is good, but it could be better. It's like, what? Oh, this is Fantastic Four? Oh, crap. So, we'll see. But,
boy.
Yeah.
There's a future for you, Wyatt. There's definitely a future in acting for you.
I wish I had a connection to some of these guys. It's like, I would be more than happy to spend a couple of months standing in for Nathan Fillion, or if Pedro Pascal needed somebody to play his brother, or be a body double for a transformation scene. I would love to do that kind of thing. Back in the day, it was in the early 90s, I went in to audition to be a body double for Bruce Campbell on Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
Because in Army of Darkness, there's scenes where he gets replicated so many times. And I was much slimmer and my face was much more cut. And I was like, I got this gig. And I didn't get the gig. And I talked to my friend in production and I said, who the heck did they hire? And he said, dude, you look like Bruce Campbell. He said, you cannot believe how much the guys they hired looked like Bruce Campbell. He's like, you would have been good. He said, these guys were unbelievable doubles for Bruce Campbell. Wow. I was like, all right. Wow. See, there you go. We need doubles for Bruce Campbell. And I got beaten out at that by guys who looked, I bet you if I went in to double for Nathan Fillion, there'd be a guy who looks more like Nathan Fillion than me. So,
One of these days, Wyatt, there'll be guys that are going to have to double for you.
Let's hope.
They're going to look more like you than you. There you
go.
Right?
There you go. Yeah.
So, Wyatt, do they call you up for conventions? Do you do any appearances? Is anywhere that, like panels that we can visit you at?
Well, the whole convention thing, that was so funny because, we talked about the internet. So I did... 1990 was a banner year. In 1990, I did Star Trek: The Next Generation. And that year, I also was in Predator 2. I was one of the Predators in the end scene of the movie. And I was, the fans would know me as the Boar Predator because each of the Predators had a name. We didn't have names at the time. The fans had given us names over the years. So now we've become, there's the Boar and the Wolf and the Elder and so forth and so on. I was the Boar Predator. And, I worked for a day. We shot a ton of footage. It all got cut very, very quickly. And we thought, oh, now we're all going to be superstars. That's every time you do a movie, you think, this is the one. This is the one that's going to put me on the map. So Predator 2 kind of came and went. It was reasonably successful, but it just kind of came and went. And we didn't have the internet back then. So these people, these communities, they couldn't find each other. They could sort of kind of find each other at the conventions. If you held a Star Trek convention, all the Star Trek fans could show up and they could socialize for a weekend, and then they had to go home. So the internet hit, and the Predator films started getting made again, and these Predator fan groups started happening online. And there was this growing buzz, and there were fans who were going out and locating all the actors who played in all these movies. And so I was at a convention promoting a film I'd made, like no interest in appearing as a celebrity. And a mutual friend walked up to me and he goes, "Dude, weren't you in Star Trek?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Weren't you in Predator?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "There's a guy over here who played a Hare Krishna zombie in Dawn of the Dead 30 years ago. And the guy's getting like $50 a pop to sign autographs." He's like, "Dude, you were a Predator. Why are you not signing autographs right now?" And it was like the light bulb went off. And I was like, yeah, why am I not signing? So my wife and I made up a couple of photos. We made up a Star Trek photo and a Predator photo. And the next time we went to promote our movie, we put the Star Trek and the Predator photos out on the table. And they got traction. And then the next thing you know, one of the guys who knew this convention runner said, "Oh," I'd get the phone call or the email. It's like, "I hear you in Predator. I hear you were at a convention. Would you come to mine?" And then the word gets out, and they tell two people, and they tell two people. So the next thing you know, yeah. So starting probably about 2010, 2012, I started getting invited to conventions. And it's all been word of mouth. And I have discovered by trial and error, there's no sense in me going to, Chicago Comic-Con or San Diego Comic-Con and trying to go up against, the Shatners and the Nathan Fillions and so forth and so on. I would do okay there, but for the overhead and the cost. So I go to these smaller shows. Just in mid-June, I did TrekFest 40 in Riverside, Iowa, which is the future birthplace of Captain Kirk, as you probably know.
That's right.
Yeah. And that was a blast. And they pay for me to come there. They put me up in a hotel room. They give me a table. I can sell my merch. And they asked of me to do a panel presentation and to host the masquerade. And, my wife and I, we set up, my wife and I set up the merch. We made a small pile of money, and it was a blast. And the fans, every time I have a complaint about a fan who didn't know when to stop talking or didn't know when to leave the table or, set their sweaty 40-ounce drink down on my photograph or leaned on the table and wrinkled my poster. Every time I have a complaint, it's outweighed by 10 people who are so passionate about Star Trek, so passionate about Predator. So sadly, the panel that I've been doing the most is I put together a panel several years back called Star Trek: The Motion Picture That Almost Wasn't, because I love Star Trek: The Motion Picture. I have an obsession with it. It was a very troubled production. A lot of things went wrong with it. It almost didn't get released on time. Yeah. So I did the Star Trek: The Motion Picture That Wasn't panel at TrekFest 40. I keep threatening to do the panel as a video and post it on YouTube so people can watch it. I have not done that yet. And unfortunately, the only thing I can say is right now I'm slated to do a convention next March in Benton, Arkansas. And that's the only thing I have on the schedule right now. And the reason for that is I got to a point where I was doing like 6 or 8 shows a year. And if you've ever done conventions regularly, it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, and it takes a lot out of you. And it's hit. I'm at a point where I never lose money because they take care of me. But sometimes you don't make a lot of money. Sometimes you make a bucket of money, and sometimes you don't. So it can be feast or famine. And it's always fun, and the people are always great. But so after doing, 6 or 8, 10 shows a year, I started getting a little burned out on it. But also I feel like I'll go to a show, it'll be a big hit, and then they want me back the following year. And I'm like, guys, I think I kind of worked this market. I'm not Nathan Fillion. I'm not William Shatner. I'm not going to be a draw again next year. Anyone who wanted a Predator 2 picture pretty much got their Predator 2 picture. I'll do a little business the following year. So why don't you bring me back in 2 years? Why don't you bring me back in 3 years? So that's usually
That makes sense.
how I present it to people. And I've found that just being off the beaten path, being in these small towns, these small underserved towns where nobody ever wants to go, but I will go. And the fans, we did a signing at a comic book shop in a little town in Illinois called Lincoln. And I don't know how big Lincoln is. It's not big. This guy had just opened his comic book shop. I'd met him at another convention. He found my information. He contacted me. Hey, would you come and do this comic book shop? It was only a couple hours away. I went there. He offered me like a small appearance fee that kind of covered my travel. And my wife and I, we love to just drive across the country. We love roadside Americana. If we're going someplace new, it's an adventure for us. We're not super tense about the whole thing. So we go to this underserved comic book shop in the middle of nowhere where nobody ever goes. And the town showed up in force. And like he opened the doors at noon and there was a line down the street.
Wow.
And we had people for like the next 5 hours. And there was this woman who was standing in the back, and the crowd started to clear out, and she was just standing in the back, and she was very, very nervous. And finally, I think my wife called her over, and we're like, how can we help you? What's going on? And she was so excited. She was about to cry because she was going to get to talk to me, not because it was me, but because I had worked with, Stewart.
Yeah.
I had worked with Frakes. I had worked with McFadden. So she was able to talk to me and pick my brain about Star Trek. And she was so thrilled. And it really touched me. Like, and then you get these Predator fans who are so engrossed in these films, and they come in and they have Predator tattoos on their arms, and they come in and their child is dressed as a Predator. And, fans are amazing, and this industry doesn't happen without fans. Fans can be insane. They can be toxic. They can lose their minds over the dumbest things. But without fans, this never would have happened. I never would have found this community. They never would have found me. And it's one of the few good things I can say about the internet is that, the internet kind of joined all these people together. It gave them a place to complain, but it also gave them a place where they could reach each other and talk to each other and communicate.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wyatt, there's more, but I'd like to have you come back after you do some more of that groundwork that you're going to be doing with some of the other guys and some more of the, whatever's out there. And there's plenty more to pick apart and get some more insights on, the fan film and
we're definitely familiar with fan films.
Oh yeah, we'll send you a clip of some of the work that we've done, and then we have you come back and we talk more because we'd love to do that with people like yourself, if you have the time for us. But
I have the time, and I love to talk about films. I mean, I can talk about films all day. I can talk about filmmaking. My God, if you guys ever want to just do an hour on Star Trek: The Motion Picture,
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm there for it because
set that up for like an anniversary or something.
Oh, we'll do it for an anniversary. We'll have you on. Yeah. You'll be, we'll clear the slate. We'll have you on, and we'll put up pictures. Do the whole thing. We can do that. Absolutely. Yep. We'd love to have you.
Wyatt, we got to ask him the one question that we always ask all of our guests.
Go ahead.
What's your if you were able to do a fandom, able to act in something or direct in something, what fandom would you want? And not Star Wars, because I know you mentioned that earlier. What fandom would you go? What's like your dream?
What are the franchises that you've done? The Star Trek, and you told us the Star Wars. You've done the Predator, right?
What's your dream?
What other franchise would it be? What if you could choose? You say tomorrow, hey guys, this is they called me. This is the one. This is the magic. Which one would it be?
But it can't be one of the things we've already talked about.
Correct.
Right.
Okay. Ooh. can't be one of the things we've
Because
already talked about.
you've already accomplished those.
Yeah.
That is, yeah. I could take any one of them in a farther direction. Oh my gosh. Well, this is comic book related,
Perfect.
Okay, perfect. Yep.
but it's not Batman. It's not Marvel. It's not Well, it is technically Marvel, but not the Marvel you're thinking of. Being a kid who grew up in the 1970s, do you guys remember two giant super specials? I think the first one told the entire story, I think, but it was a Marvel super special about Kiss, the rock group,
Oh, yes.
as superheroes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I would love to do the Kiss superhero film and set it in the 1970s, do it straight faced, make it, ironically and campily humorous. If I ever got to do it on the studio level and they actually let me do it, I would incorporate the modern Marvel universe because I would have some sort of a time jump, time distortion thing where Samuel Jackson and Chris Evans are aboard the helicarrier and they spot a time disturbance and they look into the time disturbance and they see what's happening with these superheroes who they don't understand. And they go, we can't get involved. We can't do this. And they close the portal again. So I would really, really love to do a Kiss film. And I think you guys might allow this one. If a studio came to me tomorrow, I mean, the film, like if the studios came and said, here's millions of dollars, what would you want to do within the genres? I would want to do the feature film adaptation of The Dark Knight Returns.
Okay.
Even though Zack Snyder's already cherry picked a lot of it,
Yeah.
I'd want to do The Dark Knight Returns. But after The Dark Knight Returns, oh dear God, I think I lost the thought. Yeah, I lost the thought. I'll have to come back to it. But The Dark Knight Returns. Yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry. I got it. Another Batman thing. I would love to do a serious update, a remake of the Adam West 1966 Batman feature. You remember the Batman film, the feature
Sure.
film,
Yeah,
where he
yeah.
goes up against all four of the
Yeah.
supervillains? So imagine doing it like in a 1960s style, but not the camp style.
Oh, yeah.
Batman's more buff, Batman's
Right.
serious. So
Right.
play it straight, but keep some of the humor and
Yeah.
keep some of the fantastical comic book element. I think that would just be a really entertaining and fun standalone film.
Cool.
Don't tie it into anything else. Don't make it anything else. Just, but just update it, make it a little more serious, make it a little more logical and a little more,
Yeah.
a little
Yeah,
more
yeah,
edgy.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And God, that would be a lot of fun. I would absolutely, and you don't need $300 million to do something like that.
Nope.
Give me $50 million and leave me alone. Give me $50 million in 18 months. I will come back with a Batman film. Just let me go do this. That's what I'd want to do with the Kiss movie. Just give me a
Yes.
little bit of money. Let me go do this thing.
Awesome.
And, yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
We want you back. Wyatt,
Okay.
we want you back. All right. So that's right. Open invitation. We definitely got to come back. Let's pencil in the motion picture, right? The Star Trek motion
Okay.
picture. But if you want to talk sci-fi, you want to talk genre and film and stuff with us anytime, open door.
Okay. Thanks, guys. This has been a lot of fun. This has
Oh,
really been
man.
a lot of
Been
fun.
amazing.
Thank you very
so
much, Wyatt, and best of luck with everything you're doing. Oh, we're looking forward to having you back.
Thank you, guys.
Cool, man.
Yep.
You see, that's the difference when you have a fan that's in the business and comes out. It's there, and you can't hide it, and we love it. Thank you so much,
Thank you, sir.
Wyatt.
Fans feel the fleet.
Fans Fuel the Fleet. Cheers.
Cheers. Oops. Did I hit it?
Love it, man. See, you can't hide it when you get a good fan that's in the business or that's involved and they come on. We have such a good time.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what
we could talk
love.
for hours. I think.
Oh
he would
yeah,
be-
absolutely.
yeah.
So,
definitely
but
fun.
that's, you know what? It's still a good segue. It's a good bridge to the fact that we have Admiral Bran Stimpson is here with us. So he's gonna come on. We haven't heard from him in a little while. He's got a lot of cool stuff. and Strange New Worlds is coming up, and so
Yep, that's
I
coming
want to
out.
hear.
That's actually out tonight, as a matter of fact.
Yes, so I
So
want to hear what Bran has to say. So if and he's doing charity work too, so I want to support that as well. So if Bran's ready, I think he is. I guess if the Tipsy
no, he's not.
Toaster
He's
is
not
ready,
at all. I can tell.
Bran, how are you?
He's like
Yeah.
Thank
totally
you.
lost. He's too busy for
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah. Thank
Well,
you
I mean,
for.
totally lost is probably not inaccurate, to be honest, but you
That's
know,
Lost in
and then
Space. Wrong show. Wrong show.
wrong show. There's no robots here.
Bran, how
Um,
are you, man? Thanks for
I'm
coming
doing
on.
all right, guys. I'm doing all right. Sorry I missed you last month. I was traveling for work, and if
Yeah.
I remember correctly, I was a day off in my jet lag, and
Yes.
I was coming to Pete on a Wednesday, and I'm like, oh,
Yes.
he's like, that's tomorrow, and I'm like,
Yeah, it's
oh yeah,
tomorrow. And
that's
yeah,
Wednesday.
no,
Oh
no
my God, that
worries,
was
my
so
friend. So talk to
travel.
us.
Gotta love it. So Strange New Worlds dropped this morning, not
Oh,
tonight.
Yeah.
oh,
So 2 episodes right now are out there on Paramount Plus, and if you haven't watched them yet,
Yeah.
you
Don't leave us here.
finish the
Just wait.
podcast, then go watch.
Exactly.
I got up early. Well, I got up on time and watched an episode before leaving to work, and then watched the episode at work for the second one. So we have the finally season 3 of Strange New Worlds, right? I mean, we've only waited 2 years.
mhm.
And unfortunately, though, it's a little bittersweet, right? Because just a few weeks ago, they announced that season 5 will be the end of Strange New Worlds, and it's only going to have 6 episodes. But that's actually kind of not it's a bad thing. I mean, like, get me wrong, but it was supposed to end at the end of season 4, and then the producers, Akiva and them, are like, well, we didn't finish the story. And they managed to talk Paramount into 6 more episodes. So at least there's 6 episodes to kind of wrap up Strange New Worlds, which is rumored to lead right into TOS. What that means is still up in the air. Does that mean they're going to do
Pike's got to get messed up.
Well, I mean, that's another good thing because they dealt with that for a while. Is Pike actually still going to get messed up, or are they going to just kind of stop it before that happens? And I don't know. They haven't released any of that yet, but I will tell you, it was great to get up and see Pike and Pike's Peak, which is his hair, of course, on the screen. And if you haven't watched those episodes, the second episode actually refers to his hair, so that's great. And there's a fantastic spoiler for the second episode. Just go watch it. I so want to talk to people about it, but it's the day of. I'll restrain myself. But after I'm done with you guys, I'm going to watch it again because my wife hasn't seen it yet, so it's time to watch it there. But that's kind of where Trek is, right? So we got season 4 is already filming for Strange New Worlds, and of course probably they'll just go right into season 5, which will of course show up in a year and a half. And then of course Starfleet Academy is in production, which is the new show with a bunch of people and kids in the 32nd century.
To the Doctor on that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Marvel.
cool.
Yeah, yeah, he came on.
Yep, that's right. Robert Picardo's coming back as the Doctor for Academy, so that should be interesting. Yeah, no, I can't wait to see that and see what they're going. And of course, we're hoping for more Trek in the future. But right now it's a little weird because obviously Paramount and Skydance are still going through their merger stuff and trying to get all that worked out. So there's a little bit of I think hesitation and uneasiness. Again, there's more Star Trek 4 movie conversation with Chris Pine and them. Again, it keeps coming up every couple of years that, some of the actors want to do it and the production company wants to do it, but they can't come up with a way to do it, I guess. Chris Hemsworth was supposed to come back in some sort of fashion to be Kirk's dad, but of course, all the Marvel movies, I'm sure his pay raise went up. So, I'm sure that's got a huge to do with it. So, but that's pretty much the Trek world. I mean, today is Star Trek episode day. So if you haven't watched them yet, why haven't you? Because, I did it before I even went to work, and I made it to work on time, so I wasn't even late. So anybody worried about that?
Just watch it at work. Don't,
Well, I did watch the second episode at work during, it might have been during a Zoom call that I was supposed to be paying attention to that I may not have been paying attention to.
Not true, not true.
No,
kidding.
I paid attention.
Just kidding.
Yeah, no, I took notes. I did take notes too, But no, the second episode's great. They're both wonderful episodes. And we got 10 episodes coming out, so we'll have more great Strange New World stuff and some interesting storylines from what I hear. But we just also got finished Fan Expo Denver,
Yep.
which was the big show here for the Tiburon. What a crazy 6 days of my life Fan Expo always is. And in 2 days, we sold 200 tribbles.
Woo! That's outstanding.
We are technically at the moment out of tribbles. We are emergency making more. So that blue guy right here over my shoulder is the last tribble for the moment. We are going to make a bunch more because we have 2 or 3 more appearances coming up before the end of the year, and we don't have any. So 2 of the 4 days of the tribbles were kind of boring. So, but yeah, 217 tribbles in 2.5 days. So we raised a bunch of money for our charity, which was Soul Dog Rescue. We got to get with them to get them some pile of cash to help out the dogs, the cats, and the horses.
Cool.
It was a great show as always. Fan Expo isn't, the perfect convention organization, but who is? But they're great people to work with, and we have a good relationship with them and have a great time. The good news is Fan Expo Denver 2026 is not the 4th of July weekend.
Finally.
So finally, again, my dog will be very happy that he doesn't have to listen to fireworks before we get home. But it is the weekend after Memorial Day, so the last weekend in May, which is better than the 4th of July. So it's actually more where Denver Comic Con, the original con, wanted the convention. But because of money and the convention hours and who uses it, it's not always possible, right, to get the weekend you want when you're doing a large convention thing. But that's kind of it. I mean, that was exciting. We got a bunch of new members, did a lot of stuff, networked with a bunch of different fan organizations, those 501st guys, Ghostbusters, you name it. We're all there. There was a big Scooby-Doo presence at the convention this year, which was kind of entertaining.
Interesting.
Yeah. There was the mystery van and all sorts of Scooby-Doo people. I was kind of impressed by that. They're up from Albuquerque, I think is where they were from. But yeah, no, that was great. But and we're expecting, obviously, what is it? San Diego Comic-Con is next weekend or this weekend? Next weekend.
Yep.
Next weekend.
One of those weekends.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there'll be way more Trek news coming out because there's supposed to be Star Trek panels on Academy and Strange New Worlds, and maybe there'll be a hint of another show if we're really lucky or something. I don't know. God only knows what's going on the Paramount. Something. I'm sure there'll be something. That's what they saved San Diego Comic-Con for, right? With all these big announcements of movies and things. So that'd be great.
Nice backdrop this time. I don't think we've seen this one before.
No. I keep changing it. It keeps evolving, and of course because
of Cylon back there.
No, that's a Gorn, not a Cylon.
That's a Cylon. That's a Cylon.
No, that's not the lizard Cylons.
That's the lizard Cylon.
That's no.
That's a lizard Cylon.
No, you need to clean your glasses, Tipsy. There. I mean,
your camera might be blurry, but I'm sure that's a lizard Cylon.
Not that blurry.
Bran, you got to tell us about your uniform, the shirt you got on.
Well, I mean, so my wife asked me the other day when I you guys hit me up to remind me that it was this Thursday, which thanks John for that, because I always forget which Thursday it's supposed to be. So it's great you guys reach out. But I was going to wear the newest costume, which I might actually have melted in if I was wearing it today. But then with Strange New Worlds coming out, I just decided to wear, and I'm not sure. I don't think I can do this very well, but it's the Strange New Worlds Captain Pike costume is what it is. So
nice.
Yeah, so that's I figured since it was Strange New Worlds Day, as we'll call it, that I should be. Also, it's easier to throw on than a Monster Maroon that does take like 20 minutes and 5 people, I think. But
I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for the Klingon outfit.
You owe us the Monster Maroon. Never mind the Klingon.
I do.
The Monster Maroon.
I do owe you a Monster Maroon.
Okay.
It is.
All right.
I did get it. I've worn it a couple of times. I did wear it at Fan Expo. It is hotter than BGB's. But I do actually have a Klingon costume too. I got to fix. Because I lent it to somebody and accidents happen, so I got to get it fixed, and I got a whole forehead and stuff too. So I could do that.
Romulan costume.
Actually, that's kind of funny. Is we just picked up a Romulan costume that was rumored to be. I can't prove it, but a prototype from the costume designer company that made it for TNG. And it's we got it for the person that had it here locally didn't want it anymore, so we made a deal with them, and I picked it up just before Fan Expo, so it was a display at the con.
Cool.
It's
Cool.
actually, it looks Romulan enough. I mean, it's believable. It's well made. So yeah, there could be that. Who knows? You never know these
Cool.
things. People can say whatever they want. Like there's a
Very cool.
Cylon behind me.
That's
Yeah,
right. Told you.
you know.
Ah,
Mm, mm. Eh,
Brad.
It'd be a hell of a crossover, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
it would be. I mean, they have all the other crossovers, right? I mean, they're doing they did Doctor Who.
Yep.
They've done Marvel with Star Trek. Why not Battlestar? I mean,
Yeah, why
I mean,
not?
at least it's space and it makes sense. I mean,
And it's
there's
a
tons of
lizard.
Star Wars kind of crossover stuff. So
Absolutely. Well, Bran,
yeah.
thank you so much for taking the time out. Appreciate you, appreciate the all the stuff that you do with the association. And you do the charity work, which we appreciate that as well. So, thank you. We look forward to you coming back again. And then by then we can talk openly about Strange New Worlds. We'll get
Yeah.
a little bit into the episodes and plots and things, and then some more of the they'll probably they're going to drop them, I think, every week, right?
Yeah, so the first two for the season drop today, and then it's going to be weekly for the next 9 weeks, and then there'll be another break before the next season, which will probably be early 2026, I imagine,
I'm
Okay.
or
looking
mid
forward to the Cylon
2026.
episodes.
Yeah.
Did you hit your head recently,
Brand,
Tipsy? I'm just wondering. I'm worried
Silent
about your
episodes.
state there.
There's got to be some.
Brand, you haven't been on for a while. This is normal.
the
This is
norm.
what
This is
happens.
the
Yeah, I
normal.
know. Just worried. You gotta watch out for these guys
The
True.
Cylons, yeah,
that have
exactly. You know, watch out for
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
They're everywhere.
the Cylons
They're
pop
right
up
behind
everywhere,
you.
and some people think they're trash cans. I don't know.
Mm.
You know.
They're a lizard. We read the book.
Yeah. Well, Brand, thank you for coming on. Live long and prosper, and we'll see you again, hopefully, soon.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just hit me up, guys. Live long and prosper, everybody.
Yep.
Have a great one. Be safe out there. And fans fuel the fleet.
Thank you, Brand.
You guys have a great one.
All right. Well, that brings us to a close, Tipsy. Thank you for doing what you do. We had
this is
a
fun.
great show. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Sometimes it's it's a kind of some kind of magic that happens, right? And sometimes we get it. So look forward to having everybody back next Thursday when we have another great guest, and of course, more updates. John 1 should be up. Oh, so make sure that you look on our IFB page on social media. We'll be posting pictures that Chris Feehan sent us. So those will be going up tonight. And also watch for the updates. So we're going to be shooting some stuff live to tape. I don't know that we're going to be going live. We may not have the bandwidth, but we're going to actually, film some spots, maybe doing some micro interviews like we did last year at the Minicon. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be this Saturday. So we'll try to go live. Last year we did a little bit, and we also then posted some stuff that we had recorded later.
I think
So,
we actually tried to get a hold of the last Starfighter. What was her name? Nancy?
yes,
Yeah.
she's gonna be there.
Yep.
So we'll see if we can do that. Also, so Baz wanted to know about Stranded Warrior. Stranded Warrior is still making its rounds in the festival circuit. Hopefully you've seen the award-winning trailer. So we're waiting for feedback from the festivals before we make it public. Because if you make it public, then the festivals, there's no draw. They want to be able to show this. They want to have some exclusivity to the film, or else, what's the point if it's public? So we're gonna hold off a little bit. Please have some more patience, guys. We appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Tipsy.
If you haven't had a chance to, don't forget to log into Facebook. That's old. That's Twitter. I gotta change that to an X. YouTube,
YouTube.
Twitter, X, Twitching, whatever. Look us up there. Give us a like. Give us a follow. That'd be a fantastic. We look forward to seeing you when we get back into broadcast range, which will be next Thursday. Same bat channel, same bat place, same bat time. Ha! I get your Batman thing. So
Yeah.
look forward to it. We will, if you, hopefully we'll get to see some of you or any of you at the Sci-Fi Minicon. If not, don't forget to donate. It's nice to help out the Cerebral Palsy Association, as well as anybody that can possibly donate online. Send the link inside the chat box if you hadn't had a chance to, and you can get that up. And we'll be making our rounds to other places too, so I don't think this is your only opportunity to see the famous Tipsy Toaster. And Pete. Anyways, anyways, thank you for being here. We look forward to having you next week. And that's all I've got to say. Pete, you got anything?
Fans fuel the fleet.
Fans fuel the fleet.
Take care, everyone.